All right. What's up? What's up? Mic check 1 2. Can everybody hear me? My microphone even plugged in? Yes, it is. All right. There we go. What's cracking, everybody? Wu Tang forever. What's up? What's up? Shout out to my man Dragon James Parkour. Dragon says he didn't pass his certification. What certification were you preparing for that you didn't pass, Mr. Dragon James? What certification was that? Let me know in the comments below, please. Um, let's see if we give our man Dragon Jones. I keep Dragon Jones. Anybody know who Dragon Jones is? Dragon Jones. I believe that was the name of the character on the TV show Martin. Was that his name? Dragon Jones? Oh, Dragonfly Jones. So you guys go back out there. Let me pull it up on the screen. Dragonfly Jones. So you guys go check out old episodes of Martin. He had a character called Dragonfly Jones. Let me show y'all real quick. So that's why when I'm reading your name, Dragon James, I keep saying Dragonfly Jones. But anyways, Dragonfly Jones was this so-called martial arts expert who sucked at martial arts. So his assistant would always be beating him up every time he was trying to show a routine. Anyways, y'all go check out them old Martin episodes from the 90s in case you want to get that in your life. But all right, so Dragon James, not Dragonfly Jones, but Dragon James says he didn't pass his IT fundamentals. Sorry to hear that. Listen, don't beat yourself up over that. If you didn't pass your IT certification, welcome to the club. There are plenty of people who have failed IT certs prior to them going on to successfully pass them a second or third time around. So it's just a matter of how serious are you, which I imagine you are, about getting this certification. And if this is something that you really want to add to your portfolio of accomplishments, then you got to do what you got to do to prepare and study for it. I can give you guys the standard cliche answers, or I can give you my standard default answer. And I posted a screenshot on my community tab a couple days ago of a dude who, matter of fact, let's go pull that screenshot up real quick so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. Let me go find me on YouTube first. Hold on, where am I at? Give me 1 second. Oh, here it is right here. All right, so let me share my screen. All right, so somebody had left this comment to me a couple days ago. I had posted a little YouTube short of a video I recorded like a year ago talking about why people don't fail IT certs. And the whole gist of the video is because people don't study, which is true. But old buddy left this comment. He said, I thought it was kind of funny. He says, I feel sorry for any student you actually taught. Then he goes, study. So, oh, great one. Is water wet? Does fire burn? Do birds fly? Was your nickname Sergeant Obvious? Right? Then I said, you must have failed because you didn't study. So let's just keep it let me just explain to you guys how this thing works in case you guys are unfamiliar. So let's just say here's how this works when it comes to people successfully passing certifications, right? Let's just say you have 100 people who want to go sit down and prepare to take a certification through taking a course and then going to take the certification. Out of those 100 people, you're probably only going to have about maybe 5 people who actually go through the entire course, learn everything that they got to learn, and successfully go and pass that test on a first time go or a second time go. You're probably going to have about 5 people who can do that. And when I say successfully put themselves through a course, I'm talking about they put themselves on a training schedule, study schedule. They're like, hey, these are the days and times I got to get it in because I have to pass this test so that I can get certified, go get a job, get a promotion, keep my job, whatever it is that they're trying to get. So you only have about maybe 5 people that can actually do that. Then you have another 5 people. These 5 people, they'll be dead serious. They'll go through the entire course, put themselves on a training schedule, on a study schedule. You know, they'll do everything that Tech G tells you all to do. But what happens with these next 5 people? These next 5 people, they never go take the test, right? They'll go through the entire course, do very well. But when it's time to actually take the test, they develop test anxiety. They come up with all types of ways to psych themselves out from taking the test. And they just never actually get around to taking the test. All right. So that's the next 5 people, right? Then that leaves us about 90 people left, right? So out of those 90 remaining people, you'll have about 45 of those people. They'll get online, talk about, yes, I want to get into IT. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. And then guess what happens with those 45 people? They'll look at the course material and then they'll tap out. They'll be like, nah, I think I'm good. That looks like a little too much for me. I'm not that interested in IT like I thought I was. And then that leaves our last group of 45 people. So what happens with these 45 people? These 45 people, they'll be like, yes, I want to get into IT. And guess what? They'll start going through the process of learning the information. But here's where these people get hung up. They always start and stop so much that they never develop a consistent rhythm or battle rhythm, as we would call it when I was in the military, of going through the process of trying to learn this stuff. You know, something would come up, life activities would happen, procrastination kicks in. They would just never be consistent. And then by the time they do have to start over from scratch, by the time they do decide to get back engaged with it, I should say, it's almost like they have to start over from scratch. So that's what typically tends to happen based off of what I've seen when it comes to educating and training people to get certified in tech. Like I say, I'll recap. About out of 100 people, you'll have about 45 that'll be excited about tech. Then they'll look at the training objectives. They'll look at the cost of how much it cost of the training materials, and then they'll back away and get scared because they either can't afford it or they don't want to afford it or whatever the case may be. They just don't want to do it. Then you have another 45 or so. They'll start the training, go through it, but then they'll stop, take about 2-3 weeks off, 2 months off. Then all of a sudden, by the time they decide to pick it back up, they got to start back all over. And they keep going through this process over and over and over again. Then that leaves us about 10 people, right? Out of the remaining 10 people, you have 5 people that'll go through the entire course, but they will never go take the test. They're terrified of taking the exam for a variety of reasons. And then you have 5 people. They'll go through the entire course material and they'll go in there and take that test like a boss and pass. So that's what typically tends to happen. Now, my man's here, Dragon James, right? It's up to you to decide which group you're going to be in. So far, it sounds like you're in the top 5% of those who go through the course and pass the materials. And even out of those 5% that go through and take the test, not everybody is guaranteed to pass on the first time go, right? Some people will take an L, but if they want it bad enough, they will go back, recertify or retrain, go out there, take the test again and recertify. Because here's the thing. Let's just say you go through, you really want this IT fundamental certification. You want it because your life depends upon it, right? That's how you're viewing this, right? Let's just say it takes you 3 or 4 times to pass this test. And each certification or each testing voucher, I want to say they cost $100-something a pop, if I'm not mistaken, right? So let's just say you spent the grand total of $500 on ITF vouchers to go take the test, and you finally get ITF certified. Well, here's what's going to happen. Soon as you get your first IT job, within your first 2 or 3 paychecks, you're more than likely going to make all your money back, right? Because at the end of the day, the cost of a lot of these certifications is still way cheaper than that of getting a 4-year degree from college. So you will more than likely make your money back, assuming that this is something that you really want to get, and then you end up landing a job. You're going to make your money. It will be an investment that will produce an ROI, a return on investment for you. All right. But it's just up to you to decide, how bad you want to get it and all that stuff. But if that's something that you want to add to your skill sets, then do everything that you got to do to get certified. As you know, I do have a free 10-hour course posted on YouTube for that. And if you feel like that's not enough, you can always go visit the world's greatest website called Technology G, where I offer study materials, right? And in my little ITF, let's click on it real quick. My little ITF course over here. Let me make my screen bigger. How do I make it bigger? There we go. You get notes, labs, questions galore, all types of little goodies, man. And then you can add yourself to the wall of fame over here of people who have used this stuff to successfully pass the CompTIA IT fundamental certification. So if you can't get there yourself, TechG will help you get there. All right. All right. So shout out to my man Dragon James in the building. So let me go ahead and answer some questions, and then we will get back to y'all's comments, because that's why I came up here. Let me find my screen. Oh, here we go. I appreciate that. I'm gonna get to y'all's comments. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to Jamil. I see you was cracking. But some people left some comments on some past videos, so I want to kind of address a few of those real quick. As soon as I figure out how to share my screen. Here we go. All right. So let's talk about this question right here from Miss Teresa Wright. Shout out to Teresa. Teresa says, I'm in sterile processing. So I had to look up sterile processing because I didn't know what that was. But sterile processing, from what I found on the Googles, is basically people who clean medical supplies, which I imagine is a very important job. But anyways, Teresa says, I'm in sterile processing, but want to get into tech. Not sure which route I want to take, but I like hands-on, like physically fixing things and figuring out how things work. My job is pretty physical, but I want to move on to using my brain more because I'm getting older. What path would you recommend? I don't have any IT experience, by the way, but I have recently purchased an A+ course to help me prepare for a cert to make my chances better at landing a help desk role. So Teresa, Miss Wright wants to get out of the medical industry. I'm assuming that's what sterile processing is based on my Google search. But she wants to get out of that industry and go into tech, and she wants to use her brain instead of her hands because she is getting older. So here's the thing, Miss Teresa, a lot of tech jobs these days, and I understand tech is a very broad term, right? So when I talk about tech, obviously everybody should have an understanding that I'm talking about information technology, right? So a lot of tech jobs these days are really powered by the brain. I mean, you're not going to be out there fixing a lot of things unless you find yourself doing like tier 1 type work at the help desk, or you're some type of field technician. Like take the guys that come through and install the cable, or the guys that are out there digging up the ground, putting fiber optics into the side of the road. Obviously, a lot of those jobs are hands-on, but a lot of traditional tech roles that I talk about on this channel, like system administrator, network administrator, anything leading you in the cloud, networking, cybersecurity, even database development, computer programming, all of that wonderful stuff right there. A lot of those are not physically demanding jobs, other than your ability to sit comfortably in a chair all day and also stare at a computer screen hoping you don't get screen blindness, right? That is about the most physical aspects of those jobs. A lot of those jobs do require you to use your brain. Well, all jobs require you to use your brain, but these are actually brain intensive activities because you have to actually figure out how to solve problems. And then how you actually come up with the solution oftentimes involves you click clacking away, typing some stuff up, right? It's not necessarily about you going out there to lift a 20-pound box and install a brand new router and figure out how to wire this whole thing up. Now you're running freaking cables through the ceiling because you're trying to set up drops. We're not really doing all that stuff right there at that level. Like I say, when you start talking about the help desk level, tier one type stuff, they may do a lot of that depending upon depending upon the nature of the company that they work at and what their primary business is and why you were hired. But you start getting to those higher level roles, guess what? We're all sitting behind desks with our freaking systems on one screen and responding to tickets or keep looking at whatever systems we got to monitor. And then we got Amazon, Netflix, and YouTube on the other screen. That's kind of what we do at this level, right? So any job that you pretty much go into for the most part in IT, like I say, networking, cybersecurity, database, cloud, a lot of that stuff is not going to be physically taxing on your body. All right. So I believe if you do decide to make the transition, I think you will be okay. Like I say, you might have to, if you decide to go the help desk route, which is not a 100% requirement. But if you do decide to go the help desk route, you may find yourself doing some physical stuff. But I wouldn't be too concerned about, is it going to be some back-breaking, labor-intensive work? The most you might find yourself doing is getting on your hands and knees and plugging stuff up into the wall to set up a workstation or something like that, if you had to get like physical in that sense. So hopefully that answers the question for Mrs. Teresa Wright. Any path in tech that you choose to go, I think you'll be okay, and you will be using your brain to solve a lot of problems versus you wearing out your body. All right. So hopefully that addresses her question. All right. Let's see what y'all in here yapping about. Shout out to my man Jamil. He says, had the same experience this weekend, took the Apple CSP exam, missed it by a few questions. What's the hardest part for you? Let's see. Let's get to some questions. What up, Peace? Would you recommend going for the CompTIA Security Plus or Google Security Plus, or just one of them? I would probably say go for the CompTIA Security Plus. Now, this is not a knock against Google's security certification. I'm not even sure what it's called, but the reason why I say go for the CompTIA Security Plus is because that is when you punch in entry-level IT jobs or entry-level cybersecurity jobs, there's like a 99% chance CompTIA Security Plus is going to populate over that of any other type of security, any other entry-level cybersecurity certification, like Google, for instance, right? Also, if you want to go work for the federal government in any capacity, doing some type of IT tech work, I believe there's probably like a 99% chance you got to be CompTIA Security Plus certified just to apply for those jobs. Anyways, what I'm saying is CompTIA is the more credible, more well-renowned certification, especially as it relates to the entry-level stuff and Security Plus. So I will go ahead and take the Security Plus certification. Like I say, when you start tossing your resume out there, looking for jobs, majority of those jobs that you come across are going to ask you for CompTIA Security Plus. And I don't know how many jobs are going to be asking you for Google security, whatever the name of the Google security certification is. You think you mean? I'm not sure I'm not sure if you're talking. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Okay. I'm just scanning through some of these, trying to see some of y'all to probably have a conversation with yourselves, which is cool. How many questions do we need to pass for an ITF? So the IT fundamental certification has 60 questions. All right. Let me look it up real quick. I believe it's 60 questions. Let me pull up my screen for you all. All right. So here we are, CompTIA site. It says, yeah. All right. So it's 60 questions. Well, you got 60 minutes to answer. 75 questions. My bad. So you have 60 minutes to answer 75 questions. And you got to score a 650 out of 900. So what is that? So let's break out the calculator here. 650 divided by 900. So you got to score roughly a 72%. That's what that translates into, a 72%. So you're going to have upwards of 75 questions and you got 1 hour to answer them. And then all of the questions are multiple choice. There are no PBQs, which stands for performance-based questions. All right. So that's what you got to do over there for that. Yep, 75 questions. Ace says, I passed the ITF credential on Friday last week. My video really helped. Shout out to Ace. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Yes, go watch the 10-hour video that I put together. That 10-hour video took me forever to put together. It wasn't just recorded in one shot, as you all probably have figured out. But it did take me a long time to put them videos together. All right, let me go to the next question here that I have on my little thing here. All right. I don't know how. Let me see. What's this person's name? It says I don't even know what this person's name is. Anyway, they say I've been trying to switch into the IT department with my current employer, thinking it would be easier since I'm already at the company and I'm at the manager level, but it hasn't been looking good. Person says, I've entered. What is this? Oh, my bad. Hold up. Give me a second. All right, my bad. Something just happened on my phone. All right, let me read this again. So it says, I've been trying to switch into the IT department with my current employer, thinking it would be easier since I'm already at the company and I'm at the manager level, but it hasn't been looking good. Person says, I've interviewed and spoken to a couple hiring managers in the IT department, but they're specifically telling me that they want actual or professional experience, even though it is listed as preferred, not required on the job description. I know I'm doing well in the interviews. And then this person says, I interview people myself. So I know the do's and don'ts of interviews. Maybe they just think I won't mesh well with the current team, or they don't want to put me in the help desk spot since I'm already a manager. I don't know. I may have to start trying my luck externally. And then somebody says, try IT management roles. All right. So this person right here says they already work at a company in a management position. Not sure what department they're working in, but they want to transition to the tech department, and they're willing to go for a basic help desk role. But this person is having issues making the transition within his or her own company. I'm assuming this is a guy. So reading this, it sounds like this person is trying to, they're trying to downgrade, is what it sounds like to me. So you're already in a management position, but you're looking to go into a entry level position, and you're having issues with the IT hiring managers, even though you say you're passing the interviews. Well, the IT hiring managers are probably looking at you kind of like, why are you trying to get an entry level job when you're already in a management position? So, that will be the first thing that comes across my mind as, we're working in the same company. You're in a management position, but you are trying to get an entry level job within the same company. Right? A job that's made for somebody who, a little high school teenager, somebody fresh out of college, or somebody doing a total career shift. I mean, you're already working in the company. And so, like this person that left the comment at the bottom says, they say they should try for an IT management role. That will probably be the best thing for you, because some IT management roles don't necessarily require you to have an IT certification or experience. Like, you could be, I think I had this conversation. Who was I? I was talking to somebody. Matter of fact, I think it was the last time I did a live stream. We were talking to a Professor Black Ops. I want to say it was him, or was it somebody else? I don't know. I had this conversation with somebody else recently. A matter of fact, it was on a different live stream, so that's what happened. But somebody was trying to cross over into the tech realm or something like that, and they were thinking that you had to have this illustrious IT background to work in tech. And I'm like, that's not necessarily true when you're talking about department heads and things like you could be a project manager who manages a bunch of IT projects, but you don't have any type of IT experience. Like, that is extremely possible. And it probably happens more frequently than you guys would care to believe. So that is highly possible. So with my man's here, you want to switch. I would probably look for openings in my company that already have some type of management position that's opening, because management skills are transferable regardless of what section. Like, if you're the manager of the HR department or the marketing department, those same skill sets are transferable to being a manager of an IT department. Because even with the IT department, you don't necessarily have to be the IT worker, have all the certs, and know all the ins and outs of what's going on. Although that would be a benefit if you did. But you're there just to manage, lead people, make sure that people are getting things done in a timely manner so you can meet whatever objective or mission that your company is trying to fulfill. Right? You don't necessarily have to have an IT background to do that, to manage IT. But for you to be like, hey, I want to go from a manager position, which is up here, to an entry-level IT job just because you want to transition into tech within the same company, I don't think the people in your company are probably going to hire you for that position. So if becoming an IT worker is the route that you want to go, it is probably in your best interest to look externally, meaning go find another job at another company. But even still, when the people get your resume and they see all this experience, all this leadership management experience on you, then you're sitting here trying to get an entry-level job, they could possibly ding you for that because they might view you as overqualified, or you're just trying to use this because maybe they felt like you got laid off or something. You're just trying to get this to bounce back until something better pops up. That's what they might be thinking. You understand? So if I were you, I don't know what your name is. So it looks like it says chicken. I'm not sure what. Oh, it says I like chicken too. That's the name. I like chicken too. So if I was you, Mr. I like chicken too, I would just try to see if they have any management positions open in different departments within your company, as opposed to just trying to go back down to the bottom. But if you really want to become a tech worker in the sense that you're certified and you're the one click clacking and solving the problems and fixing the computers and programming this, that, and the third, then you might have to leave the company and go find another job at another company and kind of start over from scratch over there, as opposed to trying to go from what I'm assuming is a quote unquote high position to going all the way back down to an entry level position within the same company. Like, I don't know how that's going to look for you at your company to go from up here to down here. Like, I don't know if that's going to be a good look for you. Hopefully that answers the question, Mr. I like to eat chicken. And guess what? I like chicken too. I need to cut back on the chicken, at least the fried chicken. All right, let's see what y'all in here yapping about. Yep, I have a 10-hour video. It's my most popular video on the channel, 200,000 plus views. I appreciate every one of those views. Thank you, everyone, for all the info. I would also add drilling test style questions using flashcards with a test bank of 1,100 plus questions. Yes, and Jamil, I did get your email, and I believe I did respond back to you. So once I actually have time to look at that, if I feel like it's something that I can incorporate that's easy for the students that purchase my stuff, I'll figure out a way to add it. But basically Jamil put together like a test bank, a series of questions with like a gang, pretty much like 1,100 plus questions. So I just got to figure out how to best implement that into what I got going on. I appreciate the email though. What's up, Jonathan? What's cracking? Thank you for your service. I completed my trifecta this year. Keep up the good work. Shout out to O'Brien Ortega. He completed the trifecta. I'm assuming he's talking about A plus, Net plus, and Security plus. Shout out to this person right here. What's up, Yariel? If I said your name properly. How useful is a CompTIA certification? It can be very useful. So look, all you guys got to do, let me go to my favorite website, Indeed. We're gonna look for a job right now together. Somebody tell me a city. Let's look up a city. Let's go with Atlanta. All right. Oh, my bad. I got to share my screen. Let's go with Atlanta, Georgia. ATL Shouty, right? Let's go with Atlanta. Let's see what's cracking out there. All right, so we're just going to type CompTIA as the search, as the key term here. So we in the ATL. Let's see what's cracking out here in the ATL. All right, so since my channel is all about people getting started in tech, we're going to go find us an entry-level job. So we got 23 options. Well, let's expand this out to 50 miles. Let's see what we get now. We got 30 jobs, and I just have CompTIA listed. I didn't even designate what certification. So anyways, let's go through. We got a help desk IT technician, $21.85 an hour. Let's see what they in here yapping about. Look at this. They want you to have a high school diploma or a GED. And then right there, they say A plus, Net plus, or Security plus certifications. All right. That's just an entry-level job. If you're a high school student or somebody in college, that might be the perfect job for you. Or, even if you are a career switcher, that might be a good way for you to get started. We got a level 1 computer network technician. It doesn't say how much they're paying, but they want you to be familiar with Windows x86, which is basically 64-bit systems, basically all Windows systems. But anyways, look, they want you to have Network Plus, Cloud Plus, and some Microsoft stuff, right? Let's find one that has a look at this. Let's go with ones that have salaries listed. All right, here's a job, $40,000 to $50,000 a year. Support technician 1. Let's get to the good stuff here. Look, they want you to have a high school diploma or a GED, A plus, Net plus, Security plus, Cisco CNET, CCENT, and some other stuff, right? This is a job. I got a 17-year-old son. My son's a senior in high school. This will be a great job for him coming straight out of high school, making $40,000 to $50,000 a year, and all he got is a couple certs and a high school diploma. So I would venture to say that CompTIA is very useful. Now, you do have people out there that like to put up arguments that CompTIA sucks or CompTIA is a waste of money. But I always tell people, man, go to Indeed. Just go to Indeed, man. And just punch in. Let's do another city. Let's pick another city. Let's say let's see. Let's go with something. I live in Florida. Let's go with a different state. Let's just go with New York. All right. Let's see what's cracking up there in the Big Apple. All right, here we go. The Big Apple. All right. Let's make sure we got our things. So let's set this 50 miles. entry-level positions. So we got 63 jobs popping up. All right. So let's look for the ones that, okay, here we go. Google IT support professional. They're paying $18 an hour. All you got to do is have your A plus and a Google IT support certificate, right? You in there. Let's find us another one that has a salary posted on here. Here we go. An IT specialist, $50,000 to $60,000. This is out of New York. So that probably means that's not a lot of money in New York terms, but for a high school, somebody coming straight out of high school, it might be decent money. This one says you got to have a bachelor's degree. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they put on there. And they want you to have Network Plus, A plus, Apple certified, something, CCNA. They just listed a whole bunch of random stuff on here. Reality is you probably just got to have your A plus and your Network Plus. Let's go find one more. They even got a job working for TikTok. Whoa, what is this? All right, so let's see. This one is $109,000. I know damn well this ain't no entry-level job. Let's see what this is going. Let's see what's going on here. I know damn well this ain't no entry-level job. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, so all y'all that got excited because y'all saw this salary, you got to have at least 6 years working in IT, a computer science degree, and some other stuff. So y'all ain't getting that job. Y'all ain't getting that job. I wonder why they got that listed in the entry level spot. They must have just checked the box and threw it up in there. Let's look at this one out in Brooklyn. Brooklyn in the house without a doubt. So this is $50,000 to $60,000 right here, right? Entry level. You got to have at least 1 year experience. Know a little something about Office, Active Directory, DNS. And look, all you got to have to do is have your A plus and your Net plus cert, and you up in there. So yes, I would say CompTIA can be important to can be useful to finding a job, considering a bunch of employers listed in their job descriptions as a prerequisite to applying for a lot of these jobs. So I would venture to say that it's probably important. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the only way you can get into IT, but for those y'all who know anything about my channel and my personal philosophy, I personally believe that that is the easiest way to get into IT. All right. All right, let's go on to another question here that somebody left. Share my screen. All right, RST says, on the real, I think A plus is one of the most unnecessary certs out there. It has little to no viability in the market. Plus it's an extremely bloated exam with a bunch of info on outdated technologies that the industry doesn't even use anymore. Why do I need to remember the amount of pins on a D9 connector? As an analyst, if you're a newbie and want to go to the security route, Network Plus, Security Plus, and the Certified Cyber Defender cert is the way to go. Good content. Shout out to RST94. And RST94, I agree with probably about 65% of what you just said. So let's go through this again. He says, he or she, we're just gonna, whatever. It says, on the real, I think A plus is one of the most unnecessary certs out there. I disagree on that point. As I just showed you guys, type in CompTIA, do a search for IT jobs, or just type CompTIA in your city, and then do a search for entry-level IT jobs. 90-something% of them are going to ask for an A plus certification just to apply. So I don't think it's unnecessary. I think it's actually somewhat important to get if you're trying to get a traditional entry-level IT job by coming in as a help desk or IT support specialist or something along those lines. They're almost always going to ask you for that. Now, this person says, but it is an extremely bloated exam with a bunch of outdated technologies that the industry doesn't even use anymore. That part I do agree with. This is one of my beefs with CompTIA, especially the A plus. They like to mention a whole bunch of antiquated technologies from the 80s and the 90s. And this one that he gave right here, the D9 connector, that is a perfect example. Listen, so you're like, well, what is a D9 connector? Let me show y'all what a D9. Matter of fact, let me how do I get off this? Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. All right, so we're looking at a D9 connector right here. It looks like a VGA cable. In case you guys don't know, video graphics array. Anyways, D9. I'm trying to find. Here we go. Well, anyways, I'm trying to find the actual. Here we go. I don't want to click on one of these. All right, I guess it's going to take me to Amazon. I was trying to avoid going to Amazon. All right, here we go. So this is a D9 connector. It has 9 pins, as you can see. Yes, this is listed on the CompTIA A plus hardware or the Core 1 exam as something that you have to know. Now, here's the issue. When's the last time any of y'all have seen a D9 connector? Like, seriously, when have y'all ever seen one? Like, I'm trying to think, when is the last time I actually saw one? I want to say the last time I actually physically saw a D9 connector with my own 2 eyeballs was probably 20 something years ago, back in the 90s when I was in college or whatever the case may be. I ain't seen one of these things in forever. I don't know where they're lying around. I don't know where they're hiding out at. I don't see them. And yes, they are legacy stuff, but this is the type of stuff CompTIA says you have to know to pass the cert. They want you to actually waste time studying this stuff. And the reason why is because there are people or companies that use legacy equipment that's still floating around out there. Matter of fact, I want to say like 2 years ago, there's a water treatment facility in Tampa, Florida, right? Not too far from where my brother lives. And I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago, somebody hacked the water treatment plant and started messing with the chemicals to where, you know, whatever they was doing with the chemicals, they could have poisoned and or killed possibly tens of thousands of people in that area. But luckily, somebody caught it and put a stop to it. But how did the hackers get into the system? Came to discover they got in because the computer that was in charge of monitoring the chemical levels or something like that, it was running Windows 7. It was running a Windows 7 operating system. And if you guys don't realize, Windows 7 is not supported by Microsoft anymore. So if you still got Windows 7 on your computer, you're pretty much on your own with trying to deal with any potential headaches that might come your way. So you need to be on Windows 10 or Windows 11. That's the de facto standard right now for Windows-based operating systems. But I'm just saying that to say that there are a bunch of companies out there. They have this motto of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right. And that's true. And that's understandable to a certain extent. But when we're talking about IT technology type of stuff, that doesn't really that's not really the best approach in most scenarios, especially if you're dealing with devices that are networked and connected to the internet. But anyways, when's the last time y'all seen a DB9 connector, man? We're out here using Bluetooth, some USBs and USB-Cs. Like nobody's using this stuff anymore, right? But this is the type of stuff that they want you to know, which I do believe is a waste of time when you could just be studying on all the stuff. Because here's what I think. I think CompTIA, when they go through and redo their tests and be like, hey, you need to know this, you need to know that, I think they need to put an emphasis on things that came out within the last 10 years, right? That's it. I'll give them a 10-year window. You need to just learn all this stuff that came out within the past decade, and then just keep it pushing on that. Because a DB9 connector, that thing came out, it probably came out in the late 80s, early 90s. Like, why are we studying stuff that's 30 years old just because a random onesie and twosie is still using it on their freaking monitor somewhere? So yeah, I think that's a waste of time. But that certification exam is filled with a bunch of stuff like that. You'd be like, well, why are we learning about this? Because they said you had to. That's why. All right. Let's see. This person then says, as an analyst, you're required. Oh, I'm reading. Oh, as an analyst, if you're a newbie and want to go the security route, get Security Plus, Net Plus, Security Plus, and the Certified Cyber Defender. I don't disagree with that statement either. But I will say, I do think it is in everybody's best interest to learn A plus, especially if you're brand new to IT, because it does, aside from the bloated information in there, it still teaches you the basics about what is a computer, what are the hardware components associated with it, what are the software components associated with it, how do they mesh together to make a device come to life so you can enjoy your PC, your desktop, your laptop, your phone, your tablet, whatever it is that you're using. I still think it's good in that regards of giving you a solid foundational understanding of the device that created the entire industry known as IT. So I don't think it's going to hurt anybody to learn that. Now, obviously, they can remove certain things out of it and just focus on what came out within the last decade and just keep it pushing like that. But overall, I don't think it's a bad thing for somebody to learn. All right. All right, let's see what y'all in here yapping about. Let's see. All right, let me scroll back up. Where was I at? What path would you take for cloud DevOps role? Just go get your cloud certifications, man. Just go get I did a video outlining this. It's called, what the hell? Am I still there? Is my internet working? Give me a second, y'all. I don't know if my internet's acting funny or not. Somebody type a one if my internet's still working. Anyways, I'm assuming it's still working. Anyways, I did a video on where's it at? It's called How to Make. Oh, okay. Somebody says it's still working. All right, appreciate that. All right, so I did a video titled "How to Make $100,000 Working in Starting with CompTIA Certifications," and I outlined a couple different paths in there: the networking path, the cybersecurity path, the cloud path, and the various IT certs that you should consider getting. So I will go watch that video. If you go to my playlist, right? Go to my playlist. It'll be the one that says live streams, and then it'll be a picture of me on the thumbnail looking stupid with a bunch of money falling behind me. That video kind of outlines, or at least halfway addresses, the stuff that you're talking about, especially as it relates to cloud technologies and what certs you should consider pursuing. Now, I do list a bunch of certifications in that video, but that does not mean that you have to get all of those certifications. You just need to focus on the certifications that are in alignment with your career path, and also that the job requirements state that you have to have. So once again, go click on my playlist button, look for the playlist that says live streams. It's probably the very first video. I'm on the thumbnail with a bunch of money falling behind me. In that video, I outline a bunch of that information. I'm a hardworking man. Facts. I should have seen what I was doing yesterday, man. I had to take, my sons got promoted. My oldest son got promoted to a red blue belt in his martial arts that he takes. And then his younger brother got promoted to purple belt. Anyways, during their belt ceremonies, boy, we was there for like 5 hours. 5 hours of watching them do kicks and flips and fighting each other. And I couldn't take it. I was struggling. And then after that, we went out to this spot last night in this place called Celebration, Florida, to go look at some fake snow because my wife wanted to go out there. And boy, we were just walking and walking and walking and walking. I mean, I did so much walking. I mean, it was good for my health, but good Lord. So anyways, aside from doing that and working, yeah, I do. I put in a lot of work, man. I'd be tired. What would you recommend for passing ITF? material-wise of videos. Of course, I'm going to promote my stuff, Tech G. So you go look at my most popular video on my channel. I got a 10-hour video up there. Just check the comment section. A lot of people say they use it. As a matter of fact, a lot of high schools, I'm not going to say a lot, but I've had quite a few high schoolers reach out and tell me that their teachers use that video to teach their IT classes in various high schools across the country. I've had people from different colleges around the world, even as far away as New Zealand, say that they use that video in their classrooms to teach entry-level IT. I had a couple college kids from California hit me up about a month or so ago saying that their college professor was using that video, that course, to teach them entry-level IT stuff. So, I would say that video is probably your best option for helping you to pass because, a lot of people use it and pass. And once you do pass, email me a copy of your certification so I can add you to my community tab, Wall of Fame. Shout out to Duck. Gee, if a person gets into IT right now, can they make six figures? Can they make six figures before Grand Theft Auto drops? All right, when does GTA 6 come out? I don't even know. Let's look it up. He wants this person. Oh, GTA 6 comes out in 2025, y'all. So we got a whole year before GTA 6 comes out. And my man wants to know, can he make six figures? I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes. Meaning the possibility is there, but the probability is probably non-existent. So it just there are a whole bunch of factors that go into how does one get to six figures. Typically, the factors that are associated with six figures has to do with experience. Experience is probably the number one determining factor as to whether or not you're going to crack six figures or not. Now, it doesn't necessarily, in IT, it doesn't necessarily take you 10, 15, 20 years to get the necessary experience to break six figures. You can get that experience, at least as far as how I teach it, you can get that experience within 3 to 5 years and be damn near at six figures if you haven't already crossed the six-figure threshold. Now, as we all know, there are other people who teach courses where they make these promises that they can have you going from making $5 an hour to making over $100,000 a year in a matter of like 6 months to a year. Now, I haven't gone through their courses to check the validity of their claims, but I'm just telling you as a person who's been in tech for how many years I've been in this thing? We're coming up on 22 years of me working in tech. I don't know too many people that can go from making minimum wage to cracking six figures in about a year. All right. It takes most people 3 to 5 years on average. That's a person that's serious. They got a plan and they know what they're trying to get done. 5 to 10 years if you're dragging your feet and just kind of moving at a snail's pace. But so to answer your question, I don't know if it's possible for you to go to six figures before Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't strive for it by enrolling into a program like the ones I sell or going out there getting certified. But maybe you can get to it a year after GTA 6 drops. I don't know. It's all on you. All right, let me go to another question here. I appreciate the response, the question though. All right. This person says, as a freshman in college, going for IT, I appreciate your channel so much for the free knowledge and guidance. That's what it's there for, Gaming Goliath. Then he says, this one person leaves a comment under that saying, if you're going to college for IT, you're wasting your time. You're going to college, yet you're here trying to understand certs. And then this person says it's not a waste of time, in my opinion. They're industry certs, but they still require experience. I still see more jobs asking for degrees. Doesn't matter if it's associates to masters, the pay difference is insane too. I have a few friends who got certs, go entry level jobs, worked them, and then decided they needed college to move forward. It depends, honestly. Plus, most colleges offer those certs as part of the course for credits anyway, which will lead you to having them. So here's the thing. Do you need a college degree to be successful in IT? No, you don't. But at the same time, that also depends on exactly what you're trying to do in IT and what are the requirements for you to be quote unquote successful in IT. All right. So what does that mean? Um, there are a lot of lanes in tech. I always give the classic example of my youngest brother who works in IT. He's a cybersecurity professional. Wait, matter of fact, I don't think he does cybersecurity. I think he switched and he does something with cloud security, which technically is cybersecurity. Anyway, he works with Microsoft, or not Microsoft. I don't know what the hell he does. Does he do AWS or Microsoft Azure? I gotta ask him. Anyway, he does something with the cloud. Anyways, my brother is a college dropout. He dropped out after his first semester of college because he was getting turned up in school. Anyways, my brother's been only been working in tech for like probably pushing 15 years now, and he makes well over 100,000. Like he's creeping closer and closer to $200,000, and he doesn't have a college degree whatsoever. There are a lot of people that work in IT that do not need college degrees, and they go on to make six figures and beyond. Then there are certain lanes in IT that do require a college degree. Like let's just say you want to be a college professor teaching IT. Got to have a college degree to do that, right? Typically a master's or some type of PhD, educational doctorate or whatever. You want to be a computer scientist, got to have a college degree. You want to, I don't know, something else. I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head what else that you might need. Oh, yeah. If you want to move up into certain positions within a company, like management, executive positions, or whatever, they might require a college degree, even though you may not have initially needed one to get into the cybersecurity world or a role, I should say, or whatever. But now, if you're talking about, I want to move over to management positions, like that first question with old buddy that I answered earlier, that type of stuff might require a college degree. So it really just depends on what it is that you want to do in tech, and does a college degree, does it align with your professional aspirations and goals? And that's going to dictate as to whether or not you need a college degree. So I wouldn't totally discount getting one. Um, and also for those who are in college and they're coming to a channel like mine to learn about the certifications, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Because I just told you, I got high school kids or high school teachers, community college teachers, and even some universities in foreign countries that use my channel as a resource to teach IT concepts to their students. So there's nothing wrong with that, because when you go to college, for those of you who've never been to college, you're not just, if you go to a traditional 4-year university or something like that, you're not just taking IT courses. You're taking your core courses and whatever it is that you decide to major in. Then you're going to be taking some BS class over here, a history class over here, I don't know, a reading class, an underwater basket class over here. Like you're going to be taking all this other random crap called electives at the same time. So it doesn't necessarily hurt you if you're going to go take an IT course, like you're going to learn cybersecurity or something like that, or forensics or something. And you learn about all these wonderful concepts about tech and the history of cybersecurity and this and that and the third. Well, how those courses normally work, if it's a good course, in my opinion, there should be some type of certification that is presented at the end of the course. But that's not necessarily the case with all college courses. They'll teach you all this theoretical stuff, but they'll never actually prepare you for the certification. So this person might be in one of those courses where they're learning all this theoretical stuff just to satisfy the requirements of the degree, which is fine because that degree could possibly help them out later on, especially if they're going for a job that specifically states you have to have a degree to apply. But if they get the degree and then they also get the certifications to allow for them to demonstrate that, at least on paper, they know what the heck they're talking about, that's not going to hurt the person. So I wouldn't I wouldn't sit here and discredit somebody going to college to learn IT, and then they're coming on YouTube looking for a person like me to learn the certifications. Both are going to help this person in the future. It's not going to harm them. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just my 2 cents on that. Shout out to Divine Order from Chicago. A+ is pointless. We already talked about that. I don't think it's pointless, but I do think there are a bunch of pointless things in the certification that they can remove. A+, Net Plus, Security Plus certified with no experience. What recommendations do you have for at-home learning to use as experience for an entry-level job? So this is where you go out there and get your lab on. So there are a whole bunch of labs out there that you can purchase or get access to from somebody presenting a training course, or maybe they might even sell the labs independently. So you can use the labs to get your lab on and actually learn how to use this stuff that you've put this knowledge into practical application. I should put it that way. Also, being that you are certified, I don't know what type of time you have, but maybe you can do some volunteer work. Go to a community center, go up to a local school around your way and be like, can ask them if you can be the unofficial IT person. So you can go in there and start tinkering and fixing stuff in and around the way, so that you can start using that as documentation to add to your resume. You can go out there. I'm pretty sure Amazon. Matter of fact, Professor Black Ops, if you go check my last video, my last live stream I did, Professor Black Ops, he was actually talking about he uses Amazon, not Amazon, I keep saying Amazon, Microsoft Azure, or is he using an Amazon instance? I don't know which one. I think he's messing with cloud, Amazon cloud. Anyway, he's spinning up clouds over there to where he can run labs and, just kind of tinker around on little virtual labs that he creates, because all of that could be documented. My nose is itching. All of that could be counted as experience. And you can reword that stuff up in certain ways to make it seem like something legit. So, but anyways, your best bet. I mean, congrats to getting certified. Now, truth be told, that should be enough for you to land an entry-level job without experience. Because, like I told you guys in the previous live stream, help desk type jobs or entry-level type jobs, especially if you're coming out there with A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, man, they pretty much hire everybody for them positions. So you should be good money over there. But if not, just look for activities you can do in and around the way, man. Community center, church, schools. See if they got something going on. Just be honest about your intentions. Be like, hey, I'm trying to get into tech. I'm having little issues right now finding a job because of my lack of experience. I want to know if I can come in here and set up some stuff for you, maintain some of this, maintain some of that, get everything running up at optimal speeds so that I can use this to put down for my info on my resume. And then also use you as a reference for when it's time for me to go out there and find a job. So that's something you could possibly think about doing. I had problems getting the correct study materials for the A+, took the exam and missed it by 10 points. Ooh, I know that hurts. Listen, the very first time I took the A+ 1,000 years ago, I failed the A+ hardware certification as well because I didn't study. That's why. And then I went back, I studied for like a week, and then I went back and passed it. And then I took the software or the part 2, studied and passed it the first time ago. But I do get what you're saying. So my number one gripe is people don't study. But then there are people that do study, and then they'll miss it by like 10 points and stuff like that. Now, that could be attributed to test-taking strategies. So here's what I tell people. When you guys go sit down and take the A+ test, right? Understand it's a 90-minute test. You're going to have upwards of 90 questions. And then out of the 90 questions, probably about 4 or 5 of them might be what are called PBQs, performance-based questions. And how the performance-based questions work is really on some old click and drag this, drag and drop this over here, click on this button, read this problem, click on this button and type this information in. That's kind of how it is. But you got to remember, you only got 90 minutes to go through about 90 questions, which means you got about 1 minute to answer each question. So I tell people, Answer all the multiple choice questions first, and then flag your PBQs so that you can come back and do them last, because they're going to take more. They might take more time than the other questions would take. So that's one test taking strategy that you should try to, consider employing if you haven't already tried that. And maybe that can possibly, help you out, I guess. But anyways, like I say, if it's not due to a lack of studying, it's due to a lack of test taking strategies. Here's another test taking strategy to save you time. So when you guys read these questions, right, go through, read the questions, and then look at the answers. You only got like 4 answers to pick from. I can almost promise you at least 2 of them answers aren't going to have a damn thing to do with the question. So that might be a way for you. So if you quickly read the question, they try to get a general idea of what it's talking about. Let's just say, I'm just going to make something up. Let's just say it asks you a question about what are the ways that a computer can connect to a device wirelessly, right? So we got cellular connections, we got Bluetooth connections, and we got Wi-Fi connections, right? Now let's just say the answers were Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and then one of the answers was GPS, and then the other answer was I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's IP version 6, right? Like, let's just say that those were the actual answers. But when you go through, you read the questions, and you're like, okay, they want to know about wireless connectivity. Then I look at my 4 answers, and then I see 2 of them. One that has to do with GPS, and one just says IP version 6. Well, off the jump, you can just throw those 2 away, because they have nothing to do with the wireless connectivity aspect, right? They have nothing to do with the wireless connectivity aspect of your device. So now we're down to what I say, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Now, both of those answers could be correct, but then you would have to go back and reread the question to see exactly what are they asking you about wireless connectivity. So that way you can narrow it down to either selecting Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, right? So anyways, the whole point I'm trying to make is when you read the questions, don't spend 2 minutes reading the question trying to figure out what it's asking you. Read the question, and within like 30 seconds, you should be able to understand, okay, they want to know this. And then I scan the answers and I quickly figure out, okay, at least 2 of these have nothing to do with what they're asking. Now we're down to 2. So now I got a 50-50 shot of getting this thing right. Let me go back and reread the question. Okay, this is what they really want to know. Okay, this is the correct answer. So that's a test taking strategy that you can possibly employ as well, or utilize as well if you haven't tried it. Because you don't want to get caught up wasting time. You got upwards of 90 questions on the A+ exam, and you got about 90 minutes to answer upwards of 90 questions. So we're looking at 1 minute per question. You ain't got time to be sitting there all day long trying to figure out what the hell's going on with a question. You need to hurry and quickly decipher that thing, answer the best, choose the best answer, and move on. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let me go to another one of these wonderful questions over here that somebody posted. All right, this person said, Sensei says, Tech G, I'm currently in the Army, 25 Bravo, 7 years in with 2 years left. Says I'm married with 2 kids, no certifications at the moment. Currently working on my Security Plus, then A+, and then maybe an AWS cert. Working on my resume and looking at jobs and going for my bachelor's in IT. Am I on the right track? I'm no one behind. So shout out to Sensei. Sensei, I say you're on the right track. So here's the thing, Sensei. When I was in the Army, I was a 25 Bravo, right? I was in the Army for 13 years active duty. I was a 25 Bravo, the same MOS. Those y'all know what 25 Bravo is. That's the IT field for the Army, Information Technology Specialist. Also, my last 4.5 years in the military, I was an AIT instructor, where I taught at Dixon Hall on Fort Gordon, which is now known as Fort Eisenhower. I believe they changed the name to Fort Eisenhower in Augusta, Georgia. So you've been in 7 years. I got out the Army November 17th, 2015. I've been out 8 years. I don't think we crossed paths. So I probably got out a year before you actually came in. And I'm saying that because if he had been in around the time I was getting out, he and I would have crossed paths in real life. But anyways, AIT instructors, that's where the soldiers go after they go through basic training. They go to learn whatever job they signed up for. And so, like I say, I was an instructor at Dixon Hall on Fort Gordon, which is now known as Fort Eisenhower. I was there for 4.5 years. I was one of the instructors there teaching. So if he had been in, if he had came in like a year earlier, he would have crossed paths with me at this place. So I know all about this MOS because that was my job. But yeah, I think you're on the right path, man. So you've been in 7 years. You got 2 years left. Married with some kids. You're getting your certifications. Trying to get your AWS cert. I mean, I think you're doing good, man. Just go ahead and get the certifications. Take all of your evaluations. I don't know what your rank is. If you're an NCO, take your NCOERs. You can extract information from that to put on a resume, highlighting all of your tech experience. If you got any type of clearance while you're in, because I know when I was in, I had a top secret clearance. So obviously I put that on my resume. If you got just a regular clearance or what is it? Not an interim. What's the one after interim? I forgot. Anyways, if you got some type of security clearance, make sure you keep your record clean so that you can use that, because that can possibly help you with employment options. Obviously, you're going to be a vet, so you get some jobs offer preferential treatment because we're veterans, which means that your resume moves to the top of the stack to get looked at first. So take advantage of all those opportunities. Also, you said you're working. You're going for your bachelor's in IT. That's cool. Use your GI Bill, or if you're still in, use whatever monies that they allow for you to use while you're in. Then after you get out, then you can use your GI Bill if you want to pursue your degree or a higher level of education. That's what I did. After I got out the Army, I went back to graduate school and I used my GI Bill to get my master's in IT and then my MBA. So you got that going for yourself. Basically, I would just say just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just if you're not trying to do 20 years in the Army, just finish out your enlistment. Try to get at least a couple of them certifications. Which one did you say you had any? Let me read this again. Oh no, try to get at least your A+ Net Plus Security Plus cert, and maybe even your AWS. That is extremely possible to do between now and the 2 years that you have left. Just get them certs. If you can squeeze a couple college classes in, knock them out. But anyways, by the time you get out the Army, you start ACAPing. I don't know if they call it ACAPing anymore, but that's what they called it when I got out, the Army Career Alumni Program. But anyway, when it's time for you to get out the military, you get your resume together, especially if you plan on staying in the Fort Gordon. Well, I keep assuming you're at Fort Gordon, but wherever you're located at, I can promise you there's probably going to be some jobs available for you, either as a government contractor, DOD employee, or if you just want to move back to whatever city you're from and just get straight back to the civilian life, there's going to be opportunities for you. I mean, they were there for me. So just as long as you ain't out there doing anything stupid. All right. But shout out to you, man. All right, let's get back to the comments over here. Let's see. So commercial during the live stream. Oh, okay. Got to get my coins. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be rich out in these YouTube streets. Y'all don't ever donate, so I got to get paid, man. I got to get paid. Nah, but shout out to the commercials, man. Just got the live. Just letting you know your new channel is great. So, all right. So let's talk about the new channel. I'm probably going to be getting rid of it. So you're like, dang, you just started it. So let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all. So I'm probably gonna be getting rid of the new channel, and I hate to do that because I just started it. Damn it! Give me a second. I'm trying to make this thing smaller Because all right, so where we at? All right, let me share my screen. Let me show y'all my other channel. I'm probably gonna be getting rid of it. I don't think it really serves a purpose. Oh, here we go. All right, so I started another channel called Tech G Knowledge Base. We're up to 387 subscribers. And so I've been posting a couple videos. I posted like 8 of them. And these are just like little short explainer videos that kind of talk about just basic concepts in IT. Like, what is IT? Right? Because you'll be surprised as to how many people have heard these terms, but they don't really know what the heck it is, right? Like, what is cloud computing? Everybody's heard of cloud computing, but what exactly is it? What's a computer algorithm? What's big data? So I decided to put these explainer videos together. And when you listen to it, obviously it's not my voice that you're hearing. All right. It's a voiceover that's it's somebody else's voice, right? And I'm trying to keep these little short explainer videos to where I just explain various little concepts. So I was like, I'm gonna just start a whole other channel and just post them there, and then call it the Tech G Knowledge Base, because a knowledge base is pretty much where you go to get. It's like a glossary slash data. Well, it depends on how the website is structured or whatever, but it's just a repository of information. I guess that's the best way to state it, right? But then I was like, after I did this for about 5-6 days, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I putting all this content on a brand new channel and I got to grow a whole brand new audience? Why don't I just put it on my main channel? So I was like, I'm just going to put it on Tech G. All right. So I created a playlist. It's called the Knowledge Base, where all these videos are going to go up in there. Right. So far, I got like 8 videos in there. I think only 3 of them are public at the moment, because these are the ones that I recorded already. But these are just like I said, these are just not basic, but these are just little explainer videos. Like, what is IT? What is AI? What is a computer algorithm? And I'm trying to keep the language in a simple manner that a middle school child could comprehend, or an 80-something-year-old grandparent could comprehend. Like, my whole goal with this channel of teaching tech is I don't want to be one of these guys who gets overly complicated and start speaking tech lingo out the yin yang, and this stuff is just flying over everybody's head. Like, that's not the goal. Although that does happen from time to time if you go watch some of my videos, because I can't find another way to explain it outside of the techie lingo. But the goal is just to keep things simple to understand. And so I'm creating these little visual videos. Like, what is cybersecurity? Matter of fact, here, let's just look at the cloud one real quick. It got all the pretty little graphics, or whatever you call them, things where you can kind of follow along. I even got the freaking closed caption at the bottom, so in case, what I'm saying, you got some hearing issues, you can read along. But the goal is just to try to explain these concepts in simple terms, right? Because you hear people talking about them all the time: cloud computing, artificial intelligence, edge computing. But how many of y'all who aren't in tech, how many of y'all really know what this stuff means, other than it just being some fancy tech buzzword? So anyways, the goal was to create a channel that just highlighted all that. But then I was just like, why am I creating another channel? Now I have to have another channel I have to run and maintain and manage. I'm just gonna put it on my regular channel. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where the audience is any damn way. So that's so I think the Tech G Knowledge Base, the actual channel, is going to be going bye-bye, because it doesn't really, where the hell is it at? It doesn't really serve I can do everything I'm doing over there, I can just do on my main channel. And now that's just one less channel I have to worry about managing. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, so I'm just gonna roll with Tech G, man. And then also on my website, for those of y'all who like to read, I put a new thing up here, tab called Knowledge Base, right? Where all these videos go. But here's the thing: I took all the stuff and it's written out. So in case you want people like to read blog posts, I wrote all this stuff out. All right, so you can get your read on. But this is my little knowledge base that I'm going to build of basic of just common IT terms. Because like I say, my ultimate goal is to not only teach entry-level IT certifications, but even for the casual user who comes across my channel, they can have a resource to where they can use this information to kind of explain IT in layman's terms to people who might not, know much about tech. And the reason why is because, like I told you guys, there are quite a few elementary and high school students around the country that have actually recently started messaging me. And they're like, hey, our teacher uses your videos to teach our class. Some, like I say, some are elementary kids, some are high school, some are in college. So I got all these students that their instructors or teachers are using to teach these classes. And most of these people, they don't have a 21-year history of knowing tech like I do, or my man, Professor Black Ops, or any other people. So I just wanted to create something that is simple, explains the concept, that, like I say, if I were to give it to my youngest son is how old is he? He's 8 years old. He'll be 9 in like 2 weeks. But anyways, I give it to my youngest son. He can look at it and kind of halfway comprehend what the heck is going on, all the way up to my 17-year-old son, or anybody beyond that, like my mother in her 60s. She doesn't really know much about IT, but if she were to watch one of these videos, she could probably be like, oh, I get it now. Instead of her just being, well, I've heard of AI, I've heard of big data, I've heard of a computer algorithm, but they don't really understand, like, what is it? That's the whole point of these videos right here. So that's why I just decided to put them on the main channel, because that's where the main audience is. So that's what we're doing over here. You know what I mean? Where's my comment? All right. How long does it take to get? How long this take your get? Oh, Jesus. I'm assuming you're asking, how long did it take to get the basic certification? That's all dependent upon you, man. And how much time you're willing to set aside to learning the stuff that you got to learn. All right. Let me go ahead and finish. I got one more question I got to go over, and I'm let me see. Anybody up in here? Professor Black Ops, I see you in. You want to come up? I'm gonna drop the link. Let me drop this link, man. Anybody want to come up and chop it up real quick? I got one more question I gotta address. All right, there's the link in case anybody want to come up. Let me get to this last question here. All right. Shy Shep says, I'm having a very hard time getting a help desk role. I have roughly a year of experience between a technical support role and an IT internship, the A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus. And I just got passed over for a job for being overqualified, which I don't understand. I feel like I have enough knowledge or confidence in my skills to move beyond the help desk, but I'm not getting anywhere in my job search. Not sure what to do. Thanks for your videos. Always appreciate your advice. So your man's here, or your woman's, I don't know if there's a guy or girl, but they're saying they're having a hard time finding a job, an entry-level job. Hold on, let me get my man's up in here. Hold on, get my headphones on.
Yeah, I had to get my headphones in.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, you crystal clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on, Professor Black Ops?
Oh, nothing, man. Just finished my walk, man. I got to lose some weight in 2024, man. So, yeah, I get my
Hey man,
walk off.
that's what we got to do, bro. I've been listen. My wife had me doing some hella walking yesterday, bro.
No, I'm with you, man.
Yeah. So yeah. So what you think about this question right here, man? So they say I'm having a hard time getting a help desk role. I have roughly a year of experience between tech support roles and an IT internship, the A plus and Net plus, Security plus, and I just got passed over for a job for being overqualified. They say I don't feel like I have enough knowledge or confidence in my skills to move beyond help desk, but I'm not getting anywhere in my job search. Not sure what to do. What do you think about that?
Which I probably have to see his videos. I mean, I think you're right in the ballpark, really, for help desk. So, I mean, you always get a few weird people because usually the help desk really, like you said, they usually just trying to get bodies for a minute. So, I very rarely see them say somebody's overqualified. Now, they might say you might be asking for too much money. I very rarely see anybody say the help desk was overqualified.
Yeah.
Did I guess did he email them, ask them why they thought they were overqualified, or just kind of get a little clarification?
Nah, this is all they left me was just this
Yeah.
comment. So
So
my thinking on this is that one, the overqualification thing, yes, that could be very real, but that kind of what it is. Let me rephrase that. Sometimes when you guys are applying for a job, for jobs or whatever, you can't throw out a one size fits all type of job. Meaning, let's just say you are going for an entry level role and you got like a graduate's degree, a master's degree. You might want to leave that off. You know what I'm saying?
fact.
You might want to leave any advanced degrees off, or you know what I'm saying, because you're trying to get an entry level position. Because they might look at you as you're just using them as a bounce back or a rebound until something better comes along, which they probably do know. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want you just blatantly stating it on your resume. That's what you're doing. Also, let's talk about your resume. Now, some of you all need to hire the services of professional resume writers, right? Some of you guys, and look, this might not be any fault of your own, but I remember I used to help people write resumes, and this is one of the reasons why I stopped doing it. I had a guy about a year ago who's been working in tech for he's probably watching this channel right now, but whatever. He's been working in tech for a hot little minute, probably like 10 plus years. And he sent me a copy of his resume. He was like, "Hey man, I'm trying to get a new job doing yada yada yada. Can you rework my resume?" I was like, "All right, send it over." He sends me his resume over, bruh. His resume looks like a 2-page book report, just paragraphs on paragraphs. There's no bullet points. Nothing's like it's just like it's like he tried to squeeze his entire work life into 2 pages without trying to summarize stuff and put it in pretty little bullet points. And so you guys got to think about it from my perspective. If I'm the employer or the person that's interviewing you, dude, I ain't trying to read all that, right? I might have a stack of like 50 other resumes that I have to go through. If I can't determine within looking at the top of your page, within the first couple lines as to whether or not I even want to consider calling you back, your resume is probably going in the trash, and I'm not going to give you a holler because I'm a human being too. I don't want to read all this stuff and try to decipher. Like, nah, you need to take this stuff out, put it in pretty little bullet points, make it look readable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that this is the issue with this person, but that could possibly be an issue because I've seen a lot of people, from entry level people to seasoned pros, that just suck at formatting and putting a resume together. So it's probably in your best interest to hire somebody who can take all that stuff and dress it up, make it look pretty on paper, so that hopefully it doesn't get tossed in the trash can, which could obviously prevent you from getting a job interview and a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had not that problem, but what I did is I thought I was getting a little ageism. So I just took 10 years off my resume and took my high school graduation date and my college graduation date. And my callback went up to like 300%. So
Yeah.
like Check G said is, and since you're not doing them, Textual Chatter did a video, him and two other ladies are talking about doing your resume. I think I'm going to hire them, man, because I look like you said. I looked at my resume. I'm not bad as him, but I think my resume feeling more early 2000ish, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
newer techniques, so I think I'm going to hire them to kind of tighten my resume up. So
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. I mean, somebody, I mean, you're probably gonna end up paying around 50 to as high as $200+ for somebody to do it. But it might be worth it because they might just have that unique skill set to dress it up. I mean, we don't have to be a subject matter expert at everything. Now, obviously, if you're struggling financially, you can't afford it, then that's one thing. There are always things you can find online, little templates that kind of help guide you, but it's probably in your best interest to hire somebody professional that can write these things up. And then also, look, resumes shouldn't, like you said, you had to delete some things from your resume, right? You shouldn't have a resume that's longer than 2 pages. You know what I'm saying? Like anything beyond that, like anybody trying to read all that crap, man. And like I say, the first couple lines on that resume should highlight, your little motivational speech or whatever, and then list all, your little bullet points. I got all these certifications, these degrees, yada, yada, yada. Then we get into our job history. Just list the most relevant stuff, man. And then even with your job history, you don't have to list everything. Like I would fetch coffee for the bosses, and now list only the things that are tech related that you think might be related to the tech job that you're trying to get. Like nobody has to know about all the goofy meetings, or you were the potluck planner. Like nobody needs to know all that crap, man. But people would throw all that stuff in the resume, man. So I mean, that could possibly be an issue. Could possibly be your resume is just nobody wants to read it because it's just way too much going on, or there might not be enough on there. I don't know. Or you're putting too much on there, like stressing all this education that you have when you don't necessarily need to. Like I said earlier, you don't have to mention that you have a master's degree if you're trying to go for an IT job. It's like I would just leave it off. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, those could be some other things. What else they say? They say they're having a hard time getting a job. Oh yeah, so this could be in relation to where do you live? What's the job market in your area? Do you live in a rural area, like or a small town or something like that, where you know what I'm saying? It's not too many economic opportunities to where a lot of people have to move to a bigger city. Are you willing to move to a bigger city if it's in your, if it's possible for you to do? That could be another factor. I mean, right now it's kind of hard to obviously pinpoint what the issue may be based off of a YouTube comment. But, if I had to guess, it would have to be some of the things that we talked about. Resume looks like crap, or you got too much crap on it, or do you live in an area that has a lot of economic opportunities going on? Or are you out in the sticks somewhere where there's not really much going on? Like what are we doing here? So
then too, like our last video, if you're trying to get a remote jobs, those are hard to get. And when you apply for them, it's hundreds and 200, 300 people trying to get those jobs. So like TechG is like, I'm a state guy. So if you live close to a state capital, working for the government, it's easier to get in. Your pay's a little less, but I think there's easier to get in. Then on the resume, I have a little more experience. So I got 3 different resumes. Am I going for a cloud person? Am I going for a compliance job? Am I going for a disaster recovery job? Those are kind of the 3 jobs I do. So I have 3 different resumes depending on the type of job I'm applying for too. So
okay, yeah. All right. Let's see. Duck says, what's the difference between A+ and ITF? A+ is a more advanced cert than ITF. ITF is the basic, most elementary IT certification you can get. So here's how I like to describe IT fundamentals. Right? IT fundamentals is like a helicopter tour ride. Like, I don't know if you've ever been on a helicopter ride where they give you a tour of the city. They'll be like, ooh, over there is Disney World. Over there is Universal Studios. Well, that's kind of how ITF is. You're going to talk a little bit about, okay, this is the components of a computer. This is what a input, processing, output looks like. We're going to talk about a little bit about database. We'll talk a little bit about security, talk a little bit about binary. You just kind of just explore the various different lanes in IT really quick, right? Nothing in depth, nothing that's going to get you $100,000 a year job. It's just some general info. A+ is when you actually start to focus on a certain area in tech. Okay, now we're going to learn about the inside and outside of how a computer works. Like what are the hardware, software. How do they come together to make this thing come to life so that you can sit here and watch me on YouTube right now? So that's where we actually kind of start specializing a little bit. And then obviously the higher you go, and then especially when you start jumping off into vendor specific certs like AWS or any Cisco type of stuff, now we're getting super specialized to where we're learning how to use certain types of equipment made by certain vendors. And then that's what actually helps you get to the 6 figures and beyond mark. All right. So that's the main difference. They're both entry level, but A+ is a step above ITF, where now you're really starting to focus on one particular area. You got anything for that? You good?
Nah, you killed it. That's your area more than me.
Yeah. ITF is a more simplified. Okay, so shout out to Jamil. He just answered that as well. Yep. Let's see. Process of elimination is a great test taking strategy. Yeah. Like I say, when it comes to these certs, you only got so much time. You need to be able to quickly look at the question, trying to figure out what they're asking you, and then look at the answers and figure out which ones don't apply. Toss them out. So now that we're down to two answers, now we got a 50-50 shot of getting this thing right. So that is one way you can try to save time, because if you're out here, if it takes you longer than 30 seconds to read a question, this is assuming everybody doesn't have any type of reading disabilities, right? Because that's another thing. When you guys go register for these CompTIA tests, like those of y'all who buy vouchers through me, when you guys buy a voucher through me and I email you the voucher code, I also believe I include some links in there that actually tell you if you have some type of disability, what Pearson VUE will, how they will accommodate you if you're able to submit whatever paperwork they want you to submit. So, I want to stress that. But if you have just quote unquote normal reading skills, whatever the heck that means, it shouldn't take you. You shouldn't spend more than 30 seconds reading these questions trying to figure out what the heck is going on. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I go to Pearson, like you said. It's I'm studying for the CISSP, and it's valid for that too. Like you said, usually 2 are real off, so the last 2 is really where you got to figure it out.
It says, is the IT field becoming too saturated? Hell no. So last time I checked, at least in the US, there were like 700,000. I don't know if this is global or just the US, but the number was like 700,000 unfilled cybersecurity roles. Matter of fact, let me Google that right now.
I thought it was 1 million, Tech G. I answered right on there. I put 1 million. I heard anywhere from 8 to 1.2. So I'm right there with you. Last time I looked, I thought it was 1 million, but like I said, I said 1 million. I said 1 million underneath it. So
here we go. So right here, let me share my screen. So this proves that you're not oversaturated. So right here on the screen, I just did a quick Google search. How many unfilled cybersecurity jobs are there in 2023? So as of February 2023, there were 755,000 cybersecurity job openings in just the US alone, with the highest number coming out of California with like 81,000 positions. So I don't know what this is. 3.5.
Come on, 3.5 seems a little much. 2025, Ted.
Okay.
2025. We're gonna be
So by 2025, there's going to be 3.5 million unfilled positions, meaning they don't have the bodies to fill these positions. They need people to go out there. This is I want to say a couple years ago, Joe Biden, he signed into law or signed some bill allocating like $10 billion towards the IT cybersecurity infrastructure, to where some of that money, well, a lot of that money was going to be going towards grants of people training people to become cybersecurity professionals, right? Because this cybersecurity thing is not going away. Matter of fact, there was a movie that just came out on Netflix with Julia Roberts in it. Netflix movie, Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke. Yeah, it's called Leave the World Behind. This movie, I don't want to give away the storyline, but this movie is directly linked to cybersecurity attacks, right? And what would happen if somebody really want to disrupt our lives, and they don't necessarily have to send tanks and troops down the street. They could just totally jack your whole world up off of cyber attacks. So that's kind of what this movie is somewhat about. It just came out like 2 days ago. I suggest y'all go watch it. It's a little interesting movie. But the point is, there's a gang of jobs out there. The problem is we don't have enough people that are qualified to do the jobs. So yeah, if you decide to get certified and find you a tech job, assuming you don't have anything crazy in your background preventing you from getting hired, you shouldn't have an issue finding a job. Like, they'll probably be begging you to get on. You know what I'm saying? So,
like Tech G said, you just gotta get your skills up. Like you said, help get some experience, get your first job, and you, like you said, you can be off and running. Like there's a lot of jobs in here, a lot of contracting jobs, a lot of civilian jobs, a lot of government jobs. Everything is kind of needing cybersecurity at a certain level. So,
yep. What do you think about SAN certifications for PBO?
I like them. They just be crazy expensive.
Yeah.
So hell, I get banking. I want to. They be like 7,000, 2,000. So for me, I can just read what they do and self-study a lot of times. So for me, SANs, and I know a couple people got, they like tech elitists. Any job, I've never applied for a job that asks for a specific SAN certificate. Usually AWS, Security Plus, or CISP is usually one, especially when you're looking for government or consulting work. And once again, I like them. They're just price prohibitive for me, I guess.
Yeah, I remember. So I had a question earlier where somebody was saying that they were a 25 Bravo, the IT people for the Army. About a year or two before I got out the Army had opened up another job called 25 Delta, which was the cybersecurity division of the Army, right? And so basically, I think you had to be like an E5, a sergeant, or an E6 to just apply to get in. And then I had a couple friends that actually made the switch. And what happens was, when we were in our regular field, 25 Bravo, they were kind of stuck at the E6, E7 level. But when they switched, some of them jumped up to first sergeant, and one of them even went up to as high as sergeant major. Like, it was just a wide opening. But one of the things about that career field was they were teaching SAN certifications up in there, all for free. And just like you mentioned, these SAN certs can run into the thousands of dollars. But I remember they were going through getting them certifications, and I used to view them as tech elitists as well.
Yeah.
But like I say, the reason I didn't do it because it opened up around the time I was getting out. So I was like, I'm done. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it presents opportunities, especially if you want to do government work and stuff like that. There will be a lot of opportunities. But the problem is, can you afford those certifications? Now, if you think CompTIA is expensive, as a matter of fact, here, I'm pulled up a pricing. I don't know how accurate this is, but let's just take a look at it anyways to kind of show you. So they're over here saying that these things, this one right here, the practitioner cert is like $1,000.
Yeah.
The applied knowledge cert, another $1,200. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these things can get a little pricey. I don't know if this is just, I've never taken a SAN cert, but I don't know if this is just all just one. Like, I don't even know how this works, but I know they were giving it away for free in the military at one point.
I thought they were a little more than that, man.
I mean, they might be. I don't know. I just pulled up the first thing that I saw, because I've heard of some costing as much as like $5,000. But
those are the ones I saw a couple times. And two is, my job reimbursed me when I passed. So if you don't pass, you got to eat that $5. I was like, I don't know, because I didn't pass CISP in 2005. I mean, it was 700. That hurt, but that didn't hurt. 5,000, man. That's a crazy number, man.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, if you can get your job to pay for this stuff, and then you actually go out there and pass, they reimburse you or whatever. That's the best thing to do. But just to do it just because you want to have it and you don't plan on using it, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know.
My job had to pay for it, and there need to be a promotion coming around as soon as I get it, or something for me to, But two, I'm at a certain age too. I ain't trying to do that type of study much anymore. Man.
Yeah, for real. And all you young bucks, y'all can have at it, man. I'm kind of done chasing certifications.
Yeah, then just real quick, if you go AWS, just Google free tier, then they give you a year on everything from the database to Aurora to EC2 to containers. You can do Docker and Kubernetes and AWS for free for a certain year. So all that's out there under the free tier. Usually, I had my account forever. So even when I lab, it's about $5 when I lab for about 4 or 5 hours for a particular technology. So
Okay.
I used to have hardware in my house, but now I just spin it up in AWS. Till I get practicing in AWS, it's just a lot easier than me trying to set up 4 Dell boxes like I did in my house in 2000. Right, it's a lot easier way to do it. So.
Ocean Blue says, what's the best way to get into cybersecurity? I'm a 5th grade math teacher. I've been teaching for 18 years and I need a career change. I've been watching your test prep. The way I tell people, A+, Net Plus, Security Plus. Go get those 3 certifications. They're your foundational understanding of all things tech, meaning what's a computer, how do they communicate, and what are the basic things you can do to protect the computer, i.e. your Security Plus cert, which is your first cybersecurity certifications. Go out there, get a job, start working the job, and then you're going to transition into a cybersecurity role, right? That's the most tried and true path for most people that have produced the best results. Most of y'all aren't going to go from knowing absolutely nothing to now you've been hired to be the cybersecurity person doing whatever. That's not going to be the case. Most times you have to start working in tech and then transition into a cybersecurity role, and then you'll be on your way to becoming a cybersecurity professional.
No, that's it 100 ways. And 2 is look at PMP work, project management work. That's kind of a less technical way to get in IT. So there's a couple ways to do it, but TechG's right. That's the blueprint. A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus is the blueprint. But if you want to do a little project management, business analyst, that's another way to get into IT and also get into technology.
That school might need some IT support. What school are you talking about?
I think you were telling people to work at your church and volunteering. So I think he's from that. I think he said go volunteer at your local school. I think that's what he's.
Yeah. There's a lot of places you can volunteer your services in exchange for gaining experience, references, or even some money. So I mean, it's just sometimes if you're struggling to find an entry-level job, you got to get a little creative. But based on my experience, it shouldn't be that much of a struggle for entry-level jobs. But if you are, that could be due to location, where are you at, how many entry-level jobs are available, how many people are applying for those entry-level jobs, what can you do to try to stand out amongst all the competition, how does your resume look, are you overqualified, yada, yada, yada. You gotta, it's some things you got to take into consideration. But if all else fails, find a way to volunteer your services so you can add that to your resume. Just add it to your resume. So
and network, get on your LinkedIn, connect with people a lot of times, which I don't do a very good job of that, to be honest.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I think that LinkedIn, shout out to Kev Tech. I got like 1,000 people because he sent them out to me. Shout out to Kev Tech. So do you ever simulcast on YouTube and LinkedIn at the same time? You ever do that? I think I've asked you that like 4 times. Go ahead.
I'm not. Like I said, I'm on LinkedIn, but dude, I really don't use it like I probably should be. I still have the free level. I haven't even upgraded to the premium. You know what I'm saying? That's just not my platform. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'll post things on there every now and then, but I'm just not a LinkedIn dude like that. Now, shout out to everybody that follows me, all 200 of y'all. But
well, I told you, Kev Tech be pumping me up, so I'm thinking about maybe simulcast or maybe writing kind of what we talk about is entry level. Maybe write a blog on LinkedIn because a lot of people blog more or something, and maybe try to get some of those people to come over to my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've been just thinking about. I just trying to figure out how you were handling that. So.
Yeah, like I say, I know people like Kev Tech is one, and then I got a friend of mine who got like 30, 40,000 followers. They love it. You know, they use it for what it's used for. They be getting networking, not networking, but speaking engagements out of it and all that stuff. Some people excel on certain platforms, some excel on all of them, I just think you got to find your lane, because the same things that you do on LinkedIn, the same opportunities, they can be found by they can come through YouTube or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just what's your preferred platform, because I don't feel like I have to be a quote unquote star on every platform.
Yeah, because I got my AWS interview. I just was posting my YouTube on LinkedIn. I post on YouTube, and a recruiter just reached out to me. Like you said, it was really from my YouTube stuff.
So. Yeah, and that's happened to me before. I share my YouTube videos on there, and I've had people reach out to me because they clicked and watched the video. So I'm like, all right, that's what's up. So it just depends. But yeah, LinkedIn is a good resource. It's just not my personal go-to. So
I ain't even doing shorts yet. At least you doing shorts. Yeah. I don't even do shorts yet. So.
Yeah, I tinker around with them. I'm not a fan of the shorts. It's just, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that. I mean, I know why it exists. It's more so for that Gen Z and Gen Alpha generation. They're into that crap, but I don't know, man. That just seems like too much work sometimes.
Yeah, our man Keep It Techie, he all in the shorts, man. I feel like I'm falling behind, man.
Well, the thing about it, the shorts, I guess it depends on how you're trying to use them, because you can put together shorts and get tons and tons of views. Matter of fact, there's certain YouTubers we both know of. One in particular that has like 600,000 subscribers who recently blew up, right?
Facts. That's what made me got thinking about it. Go ahead.
It came off of shorts.
I know.
But when he does his live streams, he's lucky if he has 500-600 people in the chat. Now, obviously, that's a lot compared to what I do. But we're talking about a dude with over 500,000 subscribers, but only maybe 500 or 600 of them will show up to his live streams, because they're only there for the shorts. They're not really watching his long form content. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So I guess it just depends on how you use it. So I was just like, I'm not. And then plus, when you factor in the YouTube monetization, so a YouTube short, man, let me see. I was watching the video the other day. Some dude was talking about, he posted a YouTube short. He had got like 100,000 views off the short, but YouTube only paid him like $7.
Oh my God. I'll be mad. I made it. No, I didn't. You think you made it? I made it.
But how much money do you think you can make off of 100,000, regular video? You know what I'm saying? How much money could you make?
You kill it, man.
You can make way more than $7. I can promise you that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, way more than that. I got lucky. One of my videos hit at the right time. I had a $41 CPM, man. So I don't.
Yeah.
It's every blue moon. I don't know if it's the right time or the end of the month. I looked out. I had to double check it. Yeah. Of course, I only got like 300 views. So it came out to $8.
Well, you got to focus more on the RPM, the revenues per mil. That's what you actually get paid off of. But tech, I want to say finance and makeup, they're probably like the biggest money makers. Mm-hmm. And then tech, we're probably like, I don't know. I want to say we're in the top 10, but we're not in the top 5. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard that too.
But yeah, but here's the thing. For the content we do, right? We might get less views, but we have higher RPM. So let's just say for every 1,000 views we get, we earn $1. But in another lane of tech, that the more controversial spaces of IT, the gender war type stuff and all the other craziness, in order for them to get $1, they might have to do 2,000, 3,000 views.
Facts.
While we're only doing like 500 to 1,000. You see what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Now, obviously, everybody wants the views, but the monetization, it's not equal across all boards. So it's like, basically, that's what I'm trying to say is people shouldn't get too fascinated with, oh, your video only got so many views, or you only got so many subs. You don't necessarily know how much money people actually derive. There are people that are making full-time livings off of YouTube, and their channel, their videos might only get like 500 to 1,000 views, but they're making more money than somebody getting 10, 20,000 views per video.
Thanks.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Because like you said, you got memberships, people got Patreons, people get consulting work. Like I used to get consulting work out on my videos. I just got burnt out, man. But so yeah.
IT is in need of skilled individuals, and they are short millions of roles. And in every area, there's no saturation, but entry levels are difficult due to everybody wants to get into tech. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, shout out to my man, Engineering Cannabis.
Oh, that's who that is.
I'm pretty sure it is. He keeps changing his name. I think it is.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Everybody wants to get into tech. They see the writing on the walls. They see the so-called job security, which there is no such thing as job security, but it's at least more secure in tech roles than a lot of other places because you get fired from one industry, your skill set can easily go to another industry because you'll be doing the same thing somewhere else. And plus, IT is never going. As long as we got electricity and computers, IT is never going away. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And shout out to TechRx/Engineering Cannabis. And you brought this up. When people talk about AI, machine learning, we're so short. It's not the jobs is taken away or the jobs is not filled. So I think it's going to be a long time before AI going to make IT people get laid off, right? So I think it's making people more efficient. But we so short on people. We need AI to help us keep up. So
Mhm.
that's my 2 cents on that.
Nah, AI is doing a wonder. I mean, it's doing some great things out there, and you need to figure out how to incorporate it into your workflow.
Facts, facts.
Like I say, not just for job security purposes, but maybe even for job security purposes, but just incorporate it because it can speed up processes. Like I'm using it in certain aspects, and it can possibly create a little bit more free time for you to focus on other things if whatever you got going on. So don't be afraid of it. Try to embrace it. But like I say, as far as a full-blown robot just doing your job all the way, I think we're a couple decades away from that happening. So
Facts, facts. And two is I'm a one of memberships because you got me thinking about it is one of mine is going to be using GRC, which is government risk analysis, and using AI. ChatGPT, like I suck at writing policies, but ChatGPT does a great job at it, right? So I can have it do the policies and double check and smooth it out, make it sure it's in the company template and the company
oh
verbiage,
yeah.
right? So to this, so that cuts my job area in that down by 70%, and I'm more efficient to do other things. PBL become more valuable. So that's one thing hopefully I'm doing a membership is like you said, using AI machine learning to make you more effective as a person in IT to make you more valuable so you can get 6 figures. And like you said, using it for what it's made for is really to assist people. So
Yeah. No, that's exactly correct. That's actually a good idea. Yeah. All right. Well, you got anything you want to say? I've been on here for almost 2 hours. It's about
I
time for
saw
me to
that.
go, man. I didn't
Yeah.
realize 2 hours went by that quick.
Nah, man, I just came. I just helped you a little bit. Nah, go enroll in Tech G. He got some of the best content out there. I always send a lot of my new people to Tech G. He's in there. Affordable. Sign up. I know you got different membership levels, right? So definitely go check my man out because PPO ain't doing the Security Plus Network Plus, and I'm leaving that to Tech G. So I'm staying on my GRC platform. So everybody go check him out. And it's not saturated, far from saturated. If you look at IT, I think we're right under probably sports, finance, and probably information technology for Black men. I'm probably sure we're in the mix if you're not in the trade. So that's all I got, Tech G. Thanks for having me up, man.
I appreciate that, bro. Y'all go check out Professor Black Ops. All right. All right, bro. Yeah, Professor Black Ops. Y'all make sure y'all go support him. My bad. Let me do this one last one before we bounce. It says, I'm working as a network specialist and just finished my first year. Would I be able to transition to cybersecurity next, or would I need to be a system admin or a similar job first? Yes, I mean, in theory, you can transition. You could possibly transition. It just depends on what have you been doing in the past year. Um, Obviously, I'd have to look at your resume or see some type of documentation, but that should be enough, especially if you've been working as a network specialist. That might be enough for you to actually you go get your Security Plus or your let's just go with your Security Plus cert or even a Google security certification, whatever the heck those things are called. That I would imagine that could possibly be enough for you to transition to your cybersecurity role. So I don't think you necessarily have to do a system administrator to jump past it to get into it. AI is bigger than robots taking your jobs. It's law, finance, trucking, civil rights, dating, relationships. Yeah, AI is entering every realm of reality. It's just I think when people think of it, they think of the iRobot movie with Will Smith, where the robots are taking over, and I think they have like this crazy sci-fi, terrifying ending of what AI could possibly do, but not realizing that it's already in your life right now as we speak. It's just a matter of how are you once you recognize you're using it or it's you're being affected by it, recognizing how can you implement it and use it to your advantage. That's I guess the ultimate goal that I guess I was trying to get across. Jobs without security certs. I need you to be a little bit more detailed with that. I'm not. Yeah, I need you to answer. I need you to reword that. Anyways, I'm about to chuck deuces. It's been 2 hours. So once again, sign up for a channel membership. Hit the subscribe button. With that, I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Y'all be safe out there. If you got any questions, hit me up. TechGclass. Here, let me type my email. TechGclass@gmail.com. That's my email address. You say cyber. Hold on, let me answer this question. Cybersecurity job without cybersecurity. So you want to know what type of jobs can you get? Are you asking what type of cyber jobs can you get without a cybersecurity certification? Is that what you're asking? I'll have to go out there and research that. I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, listen, I imagine that there are some cyber jobs you can possibly get, but I'll have to actually go out there and dedicate some research to it. Most jobs that I know of, cybersecurity jobs, you're going to have at the bare minimum the Security Plus certification. At the bare minimum. That's what most cybersecurity jobs want. At the bare minimum is Security Plus. So, but I would have to actually go out there and research what type of cybersecurity jobs you can get with no certs. But another thing, I would try to get the certs. I mean, the certs actually teach you the information, or at least some information that is related to the job that you want to get. So it's not going to hurt you to learn about the information that's related to the job that you're trying to get. But no, I have to actually do some research on that. But at the bare minimum, cyber security plus cert is the bare minimum that you want to get. All right. Anyways, it's 2 hours. I got to go. Y'all be safe out in these streets, and I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.